Science 8, it's Mr. Drzezinski. I'm going to do the next video on the rocks activity. This will take you through steps 8 through 11. There are 4 rocks here that would like to check the appearance and the density. These are all sedimentary rocks. This first one is limestone. The second rock we'll take a look at is sandstone. And then we have a piece of shale. And finally, we'll take a look at a piece of coal. Okay, I'd like to get the descriptions and then weigh them for the mass, check the volume, and then calculate the densities. Okay, limestone. Limestone is something you might find in your driveway. So there's people that have stone driveways. Generally, this is what they use. Limestone is made from ancient shells and shell fragments. It's a little bit whiter when you get down to it. And the sediments of the shells get collected at the bottom of the ocean, and through additional pressure from the water and other sediments, it'll get pressed into a limestone rock. I would suggest this is lighter colored. It does have a granular texture to it. And in terms of shiny or dull, I think it's more dull. The porosity there is pretty difficult to know, but I don't think it's very porous either. Okay. Let's look at how that weighs and the volume. On the digital scale, you'll want to write down it has a mass of 37.7. grams. I think this rock will fit in our graduated cylinder. Right now I have 100 milliliters of water in the graduated cylinder. And after I put the rock in there, it's going to go up to 114 milliliters or 14 cubic centimeters for the limestone. Okay, you can calculate the density by dividing the mass by the volume. The mass was 37.7 grams, the volume 14 cubic centimeters, and calculate the density there. The second stone we'd like to do is sandstone. This is a piece of sandstone. If you rub this sandstone or hit it with your fingernail, you can feel the bits of sand come off. Sandstone is generally other rocks that have weathered, eroded, deposited, and then cemented together. Those are the steps for making a sedimentary rock. Weathering, which is water or wind, heat and cold, will break bits of rocks off. Erosion, which allows wind or rain to allow them to travel down to low-lying areas. Deposition, which means they're deposited and they start to collect. And then cementation, which means that they're pressed together into a stone. Sandstone is very common. We use it in building materials. Lots of barns and home foundations that are older around this area would have been made of sandstone. Here's the sandstone grams. That's 29 grams for the sandstone. You can mark that down, 29 grams. I think this will fit in our graduated cylinder. Again, I have 100 milliliters of water in the graduated cylinder, and I'm going to drop that in there. The water level went from 100 up to about 112 cubic centimeters. I'm sorry, that would be 12 cubic centimeters. Okay, use your calculator again to determine the density of the sandstone. That would be 29 grams divided by 12 cubic centimeters. The third rock we have here is a piece of shale. Shale is also a sedimentary rock. Currently, around the country, we are extracting oil and gas from shale deposits. In Pennsylvania, you might have heard the word Marcellus Shale, Utica Shale, Point Pleasant Shale. These are shale formations which we're currently getting oil and gas from. Oil and gas are the remains of ancient dead animals. Okay? Shale is basically, again, a little bit like sandstone because it builds up with bits of materials, but I believe it's built in a slower fashion. This would be more like mud that was collected in a slow river that eventually got pressed into a rock. Okay, shale. Here is the value for the weight of the shale, 37.7 grams. This piece of shale is 37.7 grams. I don't know if it's going to fit in here. I think it might. This might get stuck in here. We'll see. I'm going to try. It is. All right, I got to fix that. Okay, I had to get that out of the graduated cylinder. Instead, I'm going to put it in the beaker of 100 milliliters of water. It'll fit in here better. It's going to go from 100 milliliters to about 120 milliliters. I'm going to say that that rock is 20 cubic centimeters in volume. 20 cubic centimeters. And then you can calculate the density by dividing the mass by the volume, mass divided by volume. The last rock that I'd like to check the density on is coal. Coal is the remains of ancient plant material, and it's very black. Before coal is coal, it goes through a stage as being peat. And you can still see the fibers of the wood in this piece of peat. Okay. Coal burns very hot. We use it to burn and in industrial applications or even to make electricity. There's harder and softer coal. Bituminous coal is a little softer. Anthracite coal is a little harder. Okay. I'd like to put the coal on the digital scale to get the mass. That's 18.5 grams. The appearance here again, I didn't get the appearance. It's black and shiny. It's dull on this side, but only because it's dirty. If we were to clean it, it would look more like where it's broken there. Okay, and then check the volume. I have 100 milliliters of water, and this is going to go up to about 116, and that would give me 16 cubic centimeters for the volume. 16 cubic centimeters. Okay, calculate the density for that. These will be the 4 sedimentary rocks, and I'll come up with another video to do the metamorphic rocks. Thank you.